Folks, I have a great actor on the phone with us, one that I've just been following a very long career with a lot of great roles, and you may know him from his Rush Hour films, Lady Killers, some different things that are going on, but right now he's making some heads turn as the villain on the new incarnation of 24. Tzi Ma, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for the kudos, man. I appreciate it.
Well, we'll get to my geekdom here in a minute, because when I knew that I was interviewing you, I'm like, oh man, he was with Brandon Lee in Rapid Fire. So I don't know if that's technically a cult film or not, but it definitely shows my geekdom.
Wow, dude.
So, listen, what's it like to, I mean, is it more fun to play the villain, or is it, just playing the different characters? Because, I mean, Chang is a, pretty cool character.
Yeah, I suppose all actors, pretty much agree that playing the villain is a lot more fun. So you do have a lot of latitude, and however, I really feel that the dramatic roles are more difficult, because you can't, as a villain, you have a lot more latitude. You can go overboard. You can really be bigger and kind of more dynamic, and it is more fun. But I think the other roles, the subtler roles, are more difficult, I think.
when you play the villain, do they kind of fence you in a little bit, trying to determine what level of maniac do we look for here? I mean, do we try out some different things, or do they come in and go, this is kind of the level of insanity that we're looking for?
Well, you know what, I tell you, I give a lot of props to writers. It ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage, and I've always believed that. I think we as actors rely on that script, because unless you're doing the entire thing in improv. But other than that, I think really it depends. It's very dependent on the page, particularly for television. The time is so much shorter. You don't really have the kind of latitude in a film where you have a lot longer time to prepare for certain things. So if the project is not well written, I think it's very difficult. It makes the actors work very difficult. When the writers have a plan, when the writers have an idea that is fresh and engaging, I think it's much easier for us.
I don't think it takes away from the script when I say this, but I had one actor who told me this, is that when you're shooting TV, you're shooting the schedule, versus on film, you're shooting the script. So sounds like there's some validity to that, right?
Absolutely. And I think for series television, it's not an easy job to do, I believe. Now, for example, as opposed to theater, if you do theater, some people say, well, how do you do so many plays and so many performances of the same play and keep it fresh? My idea, I've always thought that theater was much easier, because every day you get a different audience. So it's a whole different feel to it. Yes, I think it's much easier to keep it fresh for a stage play as opposed to television. You're staring at the same eyeballs every day. It's like going, okay, how do I make it fresh for these guys, right?
Exactly.
So I think that television is just, and also the pace. Oh, Lord have mercy. It just keeps
especially 24. I mean, 24 is a high pace anyway, so there's so many camera angles and different things that they're trying to accomplish, right?
Absolutely. I think, particularly if you're working with John Cassar, he's got 2-3 cameras going, and it's darting everywhere. It's kind of reminded me of NYPD Blue, where you can't really take a break. There's no such thing as the other side. Every side's happening, every side's working. So It's fascinating. It's fun, actually. I love it. I love it that way.
Well, Ty is staying very busy. He's also got a USA Network show that's starting up as well this week. That's called Satisfaction. I think you're starring alongside Matt Passmore, but tell people a little bit about your character on that show.
Let's see. I play a character called the Zen Master. So
we're not trying to put any pressure on you there. We're taking a character called the Zen Master.
So you're talking about, really, I mean, here's the funny part. I mean, this week, tonight, is the finale of 24.
Right.
okay, and is Changzhi's, appearance there, and opposed to Satisfaction, you're talking about two characters basically diametrically opposed. You're talking about two ends of the spectrum, all in 1 week. I'm really curious on what audiences think, when they happen to stumble on both shows in the same week and go, this guy is really schizophrenic, man. There's something going on here.
Well, I tell you a little bit of what they think, because I know when I talk to the staff, we put together an interview like this, we're trying to fit you in and all that, and they're like, wait a minute, that's the same guy? Wait a minute, this is the same guy? This is the same guy. I'm like, yes, you've seen him in like 20 films. I promise you, just keep digging deeper. You'll find another clip. And so, they're like, Lady Killers? I didn't know he was that. Yes, he's in Lady Killers. Yes, he was in Dante's Peak. He was in... Right. Yeah, so it's, with a career like yours that spans so long, I mean, audiences probably... are kind of, let me ask it this way. Yeah. What do people come up to you and say they recognize you from? Does anything in particular stand out?
It's pretty diverse. I would say leading the pack would be Rush Hour.
Yeah.
I think that particular character basically just, it tugs on the heartstrings of people, and because you're dealing with a family situation, those things are very, very touching, I think, for people. So, but really, different audiences recognize me for different things for some reason. African Americans recognize me more in Aquila and the Bee.
Oh, okay.
And along with Rush Hour, obviously, because of Jackie and Chris, right? And you're talking about. Some audiences recognize me in like you, Rapid Fire is becoming a kind of a crazy, thing, which is, it is kind of a cult situation.
At least I'm not alone. At least I'm not alone.
You're not. And that always surprises me because, that film is, I've done that film so many years ago, so in many respects it's very flattering, so yeah. Anyway,
well, I want to get to one of the other films because you've had another film that came out this summer as well was $1 Million Arm, and you got to play a kind of a real life character here. You got to actually meet Will Chang. So did that meeting happen?
How did you know this?
I know everything. It's what I do for a living. It's
okay. You're good.
Well, Ty, you have to spread the word and give me a bigger paying job. Then we're all set. I'll have you on weekly. We'll do a show together.
You got it, man. Good deal.
So did you get to meet Will before you did the role, or were you able to just kind of one of those things that happens during the, the promotion, that kind of thing?
No, actually, it was kind of something in between.
Okay.
I didn't know. I didn't meet Will beforehand. I got the script. You know how you get script when it says based on a true story?
Yeah.
So what percentage is based on a true story. You have no idea.
Yeah.
So I read the script and it was fascinating. It's heartwarming. It's about these, two guys, who are coming fish out of water. They come from India to America, and they're really talented, and it's about their journey. I said, terrific. If I'm able to serve that, fantastic, right? I didn't know Will Chang was a real guy. And then we were shooting in Atlanta, and I get a knock on the door in my trailer, and I said, who is it? So the voice outside says, Will Chang. And I said, no, man, I'm Will Chang. And the voice outside the door says, no, but I'm the real Will Chang. So I open the door, and there's this tall, lean gentleman outside, very dashing. I said, well, the real Will Chang, please come in. So we had a wonderful 3 days just talking about Will Chang and about, the $1 Million Arm, this particular, show that he created. And obviously in the film, now we can talk about it because it's already done. And really, he was the one who came up with the idea of finding, possible baseball talent in India, from India.
Wow.
So he was the originator of that idea, and they're going into their third season, to find more pitchers, and I think they're doing it in cooperation with Major League Baseball. So it's going to be happening in more countries than India. So I'm just fascinated on these ideas. Where do they come from? How do they start from seed to germination to all, to blossom into something that is extraordinary, which is $1 Million Arm. This is unbelievable. What a gift, right? I mean, it just kind of fell in my lap. I didn't even know this was a real thing.
Well, and I think that's what most of us felt when we saw the film. It was such a great, heartwarming film. John Hamm is the one that starred along in there, and just a great. And it's one of those that kind of, if you were not a Pittsburgh Pirates fan, or maybe really diehard baseball, you probably miss this a little bit because it was a very short fuse firecracker, but just such an amazing talent of individuals, and just a great story of the human heart and character, and just so much manifest. Disney did such a good job with that. It's got to be pretty cool to be a part of that.
Oh, absolutely. And you're talking about the cast was wonderful. It's just a cast that has that kind of family value to it, for lack of a better description. With Bill and John and it was just wonderful. It really was.
Well, I would be in trouble with my family if I didn't at least ask, because they're a huge Once Upon a Time in my house. And I know you were the dragon. So is there a chance with all of the different spells that you think there's a chance that we'll see the dragon manifest again?
You know what? I would love to do the dragon again. I mean, if guys over at Once Upon a Time's listening, give me a shout. I would love to do Dragon one more time, at least one more time. I think this character, the way they've written him, deserves more time. Really, I don't think the story, with the dragon is finished yet. So, if you guys are listening, bring him back.
That's right. Well, we just talked to Raphael Esparge about season 4, so maybe we can catch. We'll get Horowitz or one of them paying attention.
Cool. That
Never
would
know.
Be great. Your partners are ready, man.
Hey, man, that's what we got to do keep each other going, right?
Right.
So let me flash back, because there's a lot of folks that probably have no idea what I was talking about. Rapid Fire is 1992 or so when it came out. It's before The Crow. It starred Brandon Lee. Of course, most people know him from The Crow, and of course his tragic death there. And before that, though, Tzi Ma got to star with him in this film. And what was really cool is it really, in my opinion, started to showcase Brandon Lee had all of the goods. He had the look and the action, and he had the ability to kind of be that leading man and be an Asian star. And I think there was so much of that we've lost. It seemed like with Jackie Chan we got a little bit of some of that, and we got some of these people. There's something that was more charismatic about Brandon Lee, don't you think, Ty?
I think the approach with Brandon, to film and his focus was very different from Jackie. Jackie has this idea about he wants everybody to laugh.
Yeah, that's true.
That's Jackie's thing. I mean, he is so kind of amazingly physically gifted, and also has a very great knack of comedy. And what people don't know about Jackie in some ways is that he is classically trained. Yeah. Classically Beijing opera trained. But, something that's foreign to Western audiences. So with Brandon, he is the leading man. This guy was hot. He's talking about, women swoon when they see him. I mean, come on, man. He's got Bruce's genes, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
You're talking about charisma everywhere. And really in Rapid Fire, it was the first time I accepted a role as the antagonist in a film.
No, I didn't do that.
Yeah, I have never done the quote-unquote bad guy in a film at all. Because I always felt that at the time, the hero was never Asian or Asian American. So for me, it's always the same kind of formula that you see. It's basically a white person riding on a white horse into saving the day, and usually the victims are Asian or Asian American women, and then they end up kind of falling in love with this white hero. to me, I just felt that it became such a obstacle, for Asian American men, that I basically refused to do it. And then Rapid Fire came along, just like when Bruce came along, like Brandon's dad, who came into this television world as Kato, who gave this amazing maleness to us, He became this, not only was the hero, he saved the day, he also gets the girl. I said, really? You want me to be the bad guy? Forget about it. I'll be the baddest guy around. Because anytime I can make him more heroic, I'm there. I've been looking for that kind of vehicle, because, like I said, playing a bad guy is fun. But I've been resisting it and not doing it. And now here's an opportunity for me to really sink my teeth into it, and we had a terrific time doing it.
It is a really great film, folks. We'll definitely recommend Rapid Fire. You definitely got to check that out, especially if you're a big fan of Brandon Lee from The Crow. You definitely need to see his earlier work. It's really good stuff. And you'll catch Tzi Ma doing his thing there. And you've played a lot of interesting roles. Is there a certain person that you've worked with that really kind of wowed you or anything like that? I mean, when you work, look, I don't want to be, Ty, your resume stretches from Lady Killers to The Whole Truth and beyond. I mean, it's incredible, the diverse resume that you've been able to put together. Is there someone in particular that stands out that you're like, wow, that cat really has a different kind of game?
I've been really fortunate, obviously, to be able to get involved in all these wonderful projects. And they all have different things to offer, particularly on the directing side. You're talking about, for The Quiet American, Philip Noyce is an amazing director. I mean, he is so well prepared and he's so smart. And, you have the Coen brothers, who are just a gem to work with on a project, and they involve you in every step. From costuming to the Chaplin mustache, on the general. I mean, everything, you are part of the creative process. And working with these amazing actors, Max von Sydow, and Jackie Chan, and Michael Caine, and John Hamm. I mean, Lawrence Fishburne. I mean, come on, I can't complain, really. I've been very, very fortunate, very lucky, and I hope it continues, because ultimately I feel that I have so much more to learn. And every time I get on a set, there is something I can learn from someone, either before, or in front, or behind the camera. Because really, you're looking at the styles of how people work. It's just fascinating to me, and I hope I never lose that.
That's fantastic, and we've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed the ride with you, Tzi Ma. We hope it continues as well. And lastly, we'll wrap up. I know you get a chance to go overseas a bit, or you get a chance to vacation and do some downtime, or is it still more work or promotional stuff?
Yeah, I wish I had some downtime, but at this point, I'm going to Asia to talk about some future projects that I may be trying to get involved in producing and directing.
Oh,
so there are some stories that I think still needs the opportunity to tell, and mainly stories about our existence here in America. So.
Fantastic to hear. And folks, you definitely want to tune in tonight. That's 24 Live Another Day. That is the wrap up here for this season, and you get to see Tzi Ma playing the bad guy. Of course, later on this week, that's the 17th, is the USA Network's debut of Satisfaction, where he plays the Zen Master. Needless to say, he is not the bad guy. And let me tell you, folks, if you go to IMDb, you can see this, and you will see some photos, and you will realize you have seen Tzi Ma in an awful lot of films, and we do hope and pray that he can continue to have that blessed career for many years to come, my friend. Thank you again for fitting me in. I know you're balancing a lot before you jump on that jet and head out of the States, but I appreciate you fitting this into your schedule, my friend.
Thank you, Brandon. It's been a pleasure.
All right, take care. Talk to you soon.
You too. Thanks. Bye.